Well, as promised, we've got more questions for our previous guest, knowledgeable Miss Chat GPT herself. This time around, we're asking popular heavy hitter questions about tourist destinations in Africa, interesting take on leadership, past and present, migration, and big bonus question that you don't want to miss. Please stick around. I am ready. She's ready. Let's go. But before then, please, 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 just hit the like button. It will cost you nothing but a click. And for me, it will mean the entire continent. Okay? Subscribe if you've not already, because that's the only way you will witness the big, big plans we've got. All right? I'm going to shut up now. ChatGPT is waiting. Let's get it. Well, hello, StemToRoots. This is your host, Mike Demba. This is where we plan on talking our way into a plan. All right, let's just go. Let's dive straight in. Let's pick up where we left off last week. And if you've not watched that very first part where we spoke to ChatGPT as a guest, you have to go back and watch that episode. But well, let's dive right in. We have no time to waste. My very, very first question to ChatGPT as we continue on our last episode is, all right, the question is, which three African countries have the best tourists? Question number one. All right, let's go. Let's talk. This is interesting. All right, let's do this. Can you see it now? Yes, you can. All right, let's go all the way up. So we asked, which three African countries have the best tourist attraction? Obviously, this is subjective. Like we talked about the last time, ChatGPT will give us answers based on data. Okay, so the three African countries at the top, we have South Africa. I'm not surprised at all. Africa is home to a diverse array of tourist attractions, from natural wonders and wildlife to cultural and historical sites. Among the many countries with significant tourist appeal, three stand out prominently. All right. So even ChatGPT, we all know how diplomatic ChatGPT is. ChatGPT has actually pointed out that Africa is vast, so it's different interests, right? Somebody might love wildlife. Somebody might be interested in just historical sites and learning about history and stuff. And some people will enjoy the beach. So this is super subjective, but it's interesting to know what ChatGPT thinks. As we can see here, at the top, it says South Africa, and I'm not at all surprised. At the top there, we see Kruger National Park. It's very, very, very popular. One of Africa's largest game reserves, famous for big five lions. We all know about them. And Cape Town, not surprised at all. It's talking about Table Mountain. It's talking about Robben Island. We all know Robben Island. We all know Nelson Mandela. So and the wine lands in South Africa. So South Africa is stunning to visit. Number two, it has Kenya. I am not at all surprised. All right. So number two, we have Kenya. We have the Masai Mara National Reserve. So again, talking about wildlife and animals. We're talking about Mount Kenya. It's talking about the Lamu Island. So, this is interesting places that not only Africans, but the whole world, if you're thinking about Africa as part of your bucket list and you're not African, even when you're African, these are interesting places to see, things to visit and see. Here, number three, Morocco. It's interesting to see that Morocco comes here, before Egypt for similar things. All right. And I'm not here to say which one should be on the list, but this tells you how big the continent is. Again, it's about interest. It's about what you want to go see. It's about, actually, what what drives you, what you find fun, what you find educative, and all that. We have a huge continent, luckily. Actually, to even pick three is unfair. But this is, the top question that I wanted to ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT mentioned South Africa, Kenya, and Morocco. And there's a lot more about Africa, obviously. All right, let's go to number two. For my second question, I want to ask ChatGPT, give me your top three. I love the number three African leaders of all time. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, not surprised. I'm not surprised. Oh, I'm not surprised. I actually didn't think about this before asking it. Oh my God. Whoa. ChatGPT, you can talk. All right. What is ChatGPT saying? At the top, I'm sure nobody here is surprised at all. I'm going to do this so that we'll read it. Okay, there it is. It says, I said, give me your top three African leaders of all time. Choosing the top three African leaders of all time is subjective. Yes, ChatGPT, we know, Madam Diplomatic, and can vary based on criteria such as impact, legacy, contributions to their countries and the continent. However, three leaders are frequently celebrated for their significant enduring influence. And these three leaders are who? Nelson Mandela of South Africa. All right, President of South Africa, 1994 to 1999. And we know the big contributions of Nelson Mandela, anti-apartheid leadership, first Black president of South Africa, reconciliation efforts, and we know how he was trying to bring, that divide, bridge that divide that has forever, affected South Africa. So Nelson Mandela comes at the top. Number two, not surprised at all, Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, Prime Minister from 1957 to 1960, way before a lot of us were born. All right. But his contributions, even in our lifetime right now, Kwame Nkrumah is spoken about a lot. If you don't know about him, you need to go read. Independence leader when when Ghana had their independence. Pan-Africanism, we know him for being an advocate of our continent, development initiatives for Ghana, for the West African region, and for the continent as a whole. Kwame Nkrumah is a very prominent leader. So I'm not surprised that he's at number two. We all know Haile Selassie, of Ethiopia. So Emperor of Ethiopia from 1930 to 1974, again, before a lot of us were born. But his impact, global impact, has been one of, when Africa as a continent, countries were beginning, to gain independence right around then. This is 1930 to 1974 when, a lot of countries, including where I'm from in Gambia and Senegal, all of them gained independence around that time. Haile Selassie was a top prominent leader for the continent in so many different aspects. You should be interested in his leadership style and his symbolism for Africa, and you should read about him if you're interested. But I'm not surprised at all at these three leaders, and I'm sure a lot of us will agree. But whilst I'm on this question, I also want to ask, this is the past of all time, and ChatGPT named all three leaders that are gone, left a legacy, but they're gone. So it's only fair that we ask ChatGPT, give me your top three African leaders today. How about that? Paul Kagame. I'm not surprised. Oh, probably. Oh, Ahmad. Interesting. ChatGPT. At number three, I see Macky Sall. You need an update. But here we are. Selecting the top three African leaders today involves considering their contributions to their countries, development, regional influence, and international stature. Here are three leaders who are widely respected for their leadership and achievements. At the top, not surprised at all, Paul Kagame of Rwanda, president of Rwanda since 2000. Okay, here it is. It's telling us that his contributions are based on his remarkable economic growth, transformation, focusing on innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship. Political stability. Rwanda is known for that country that had the genocide. For stability to be for Rwanda to be known for being stable right now tells us a lot about the leadership style of Paul Kagame today. All right, regional influence. It has become this model country now, due to the level of leadership that Paul Kagame is giving it. Rwanda has become exemplary. People point to Rwanda as a model to copy. That says a lot. Okay, Ethiopia. They're talking about Ahmed here, President Ahmed. He's been president since 2018. Peace and reconciliation. We all know what happened when he earned the Nobel Peace Prize. If you don't know about President Ahmed, you have to go read about him and what he has done in Ethiopia. Here we are. We talked about Haile Selassie. Now we're talking about Ethiopia again. That's big. Political and economic reforms. The kind of change that President Ahmed has brought to Ethiopia, you need to, if you don't know anything about that, you need to go read on that, because Ethiopia has transformed. It has changed so much in the last decade, especially. At number 3, we have Macky Sall. Evidently, ChatGPT needs to be updated. That Macky Sall, as of last month, Senegal reported, or Senegal elected the youngest president in Africa, 44 years old. And inauguration was just last month in April, and Senegal has a new leader. But it's only fair that Macky Sall gets mentioned here for what he has done since 2012, when he was president, until just last month. So talking about economic development, for those of us that have been to Senegal recently, Dakar as a city, the kind of change that Macky Sall and his leadership brought to Africa, to actually, I would say Africa, because he's known as a prominent leader for the continent. He's known as a state's elder, especially for our continent, and being pointed to for a lot of, African Union related, conversations, peace processes and stuff like that. So he's known for that regional and continental leadership. Democratic governance. For a long time, Senegal has been that model country when it comes to democracy and leadership, until he was this close to just messing it all up. But, luckily he had a turnaround, and, elections happened, prevailed, and they have a new leader now. So I'm not surprised at all. ChatGPT, I'll give you that third one. It's a good one. But these are the ChatGPT answers, and I'm not surprised at all, and I'm not mad at ChatGPT. Let's see what my third question is. Okay, I will say to ChatGPT, this is StemToRoots, and these are the kind of things we talk about. So let's say, in the last 50 years, which country outside of Africa have Africans migrated the most? What do you have to say? Okay, what you got? In the last 50 years, which country outside of Africa have Africans migrated to the most? In the last 50 years, one of the countries outside of Africa that has seen significant migration from Africans is the United States. I'm not surprised at all. The United States has long been a destination for immigrants from around the world, including Africa as a continent, due to the diverse economy, educational opportunities, and relative political stability. African migration to the United States has increased steadily over the past few decades, driven by various factors such as economic opportunities, pursuit of education, family reunification, and refugee settlement. Countries such as Nigeria, Ethiopia, Ghana, Kenya, Somalia have been among the top African countries for immigration to the United States: Nigeria, Ethiopia, Ghana, Kenya, Somalia. Not surprised at all. These are countries that are huge in Africa, and I'm not surprised, just based on volume and numbers. While precise data of African migration to the United States over the past 50 years may vary, it is evident that the United States has been a significant destination for Africans seeking better prospects and opportunity. So I'm not surprised at all that, America, USA tops the list, but we all know, a lot of Africans migrate to Europe. A lot of Francophone African countries migrate to France and the rest of Europe. A lot of African countries, especially ones that were colonized by the British, go to England and the UK a lot. So, but the US being that country that has seen the most African migration is not a surprise at all. The bonus question, the very last question that I want to ask, just one I'm super, super excited about is it's a debate that I hear all the time. So I'm going to ask it. All right. So, which African country makes the best jollof rice? Oh my God. I can't wait for this answer. Oh my God. Okay. What does Let's see what ChatGPT has to say. The debate over which African country makes the best jollof rice is a passionate and long-standing, often stirring friendly rivalry and banter among West African nations. Jollof rice is a popular one-pot rice dish made with rice, tomatoes, onions, and a variety of spices, and it's a staple in West African countries. While preferences may vary depending on personal taste and regional variations, Nigeria and Ghana are often the center of the culinary dispute. This is, ChatGPT, you've been listening. And the way I always look at this debate is, Ghanaians and Nigerians are the loudest when it comes to talking about jollof rice. And so the debate is left for Nigeria and Ghana to be the ones debating it. ChatGPT went ahead, to give us, the differences between the two, right? And we all know, right? It's talking about how Nigeria makes this and Ghana makes this. I want to say, first I'm gonna read what ChatGPT said here. While the debate over which country makes the best jollof rice continues, it ultimately comes down to personal preference. Madam Diplomatic. Both Nigerian and Ghanaian jollof rice have their own distinct flavors and characteristics. Both are beloved by across many African diaspora and beyond. And the way I look at it, again, for anybody that knows the history, they know that jollof rice originated from the Senegambia region, Gambia and Senegal, and I always love the debate because it's the kind of thing where, let's say, France and Belgium, if they're debating over who makes the best, spaghetti bolognese, Italy should not be part of the debate. All right, if it's originated in Italy and it's a national dish, and France and Belgium are fighting over who makes the better one, it will be disrespectful to bring Italy into the debate. Just like, being here, and I know Mexican food because it's talked about all the time. If we're talking about tamales and enchiladas and tortillas and guacamole, if the US is debating between, the US and Guatemala or Peru or whatever, Mexico should not be part of the debate because this is, their national dish. This is what they're known for. This is what they know that authentically they're the ones that make it. So that's why this debate is only interesting to watch Ghanaians and Nigerians just go nuts about it. And what I love about it is it's just banter. It's just friendly banter, because at the end of the day, it's all about taste. It's all about what you enjoy. Well, that's what I have for you this week. I have asked ChatGPT these questions, and it is Madame Diplomatic herself. You all know how ChatGPT is like, never wants to offend anybody. She's friendly like that, and that's why we love her and we'll continue asking these questions. But this is what ChatGPT said, and we all have to agree or feed ChatGPT that data so that ChatGPT will give us better answers. Thank you for hanging out with me this week. I'll be back again. Please subscribe if you've not, because I can't wait to actually unveil the plan that I have for the rest of the year. But for now, bye bye.